Welcome along to Cusack Park for the 2019 Clare Under-21 Hurling Final. It's Crusheen Tubber versus Kilmaley in a championship that has run off pretty quickly and some really top quality games as well. These are the two left standing in the race to succeed Kilmaley as the Under-21A champions here in Clare. Kilmaley took down the champions the last day. Crusheen Tubber taking down a much fancied St. Joseph's Dura Bearfield side. It's Derek Lynch with you on site once again here this afternoon, joined by Fergie O'Loughlin on analysis. And again, our coverage comes with thanks to Al Hayes, Skoda Motors and Ennis. So if you're stuck for a pair of wheels, head into the lads, no doubt they will sort you out. We'll run through the teams in just a quick second, but Fergie is with me here. Fergie, we're back in the county grounds for the first time this year. We're up high here in the camera gantry, as people can see from the pictures there. A fantastic setting, a final about to get underway. One of the big highlights, I guess, in the Clare GA calendar.
Yeah, it is, and we spoke in our commentary about what the Under-21A Championship brings to the gig. It played earlier on in the year, knockout, cutthroat stuff, and the two games we've live streamed, especially the second one, Kilmaley and Kilmaley, it was something to savour. And if we can get any little bit of that again today, Derek, we're in for a very entertaining game. And up here, as you say, the fantastic view from up here, you can see everything. You can nearly see a pin drop. The field is in excellent condition. A slight little breeze. We don't know yet really which way who it's going to favour, but it's not going to be a big factor. But conditions are fantastic for a game of hurling today.
Absolutely. We'll look through some of the matchups in just a second, but let's give you the starting teams, and we'll begin with the men from Crusheen Tubber, with Murroch McMahon in goal, a full back line of Ian O'Brien, their joint captain Gavin O'Brien and Tyg Dean making up the full back line. Éanna McMahon, Ross Hayes and the other joint captain Emmett Quinn make up the half back line. A midfield pairing of Padraig Kelly and Diarmuid Mullins. James Taff, Aidan McNamara and Cian Kettler make up the half forward line, with Colm O'Brien, Jonah Culligan and Joey Droney making up what looks like a dangerous inside line for the men from Crusheen Tubber. Kilmaley, they start with Ronan Cannon in goal. Daniel Walsh comes in at cornerback. He's joined in the full back line by Arden Maloney and Oisin Looney. Sean Kennedy, Bradley Higgins and Tommy Barry make up a half back line that's been unchanged throughout the championship. Cathal Darcy joined by Sean Crowley at midfield. The joint captain Sean O'Loughlin and hero from the last day starts on the 40. It's Éanna McMahon and Tom O'Rourke either side. John Finucane from Kilmehel wears the number 14 jersey. Peter Ronan and Aidan Kennedy are on his left and right respectively. Sean O'Loughlin, Fergie, we've spoken about him so much, and not least the last day with that last minute bullet as well. But we're expecting one big matchup here today if it materialises, because the man wearing 6 for Crusheen Tubber, Ross Hayes, we've heard a lot about him. It could be a titanic one. It
could be a titanic one, and it's something I suppose Crusheen Tubber, in coming into today's final, being relatively underdogs, I suppose their matchups are going to be vitally important. I'm sure they've looked back on both live streaming of both Kilmaley's games, and the big one I suppose is Sean O'Loughlin. He's been their ticking bomb throughout the Under-21 campaign so far, and if they can cull him not alone from frees but from general play, they have a major job done.
It couldn't be a county final day without Oran Avian. Let's take it in. Well, for Kilmaley, it's a second Under-21A final in a row, losing out to Kilmaley last year. Their last title at this grade came in 2015, and incredibly, that was just their second, with their first title coming all the way back in 1975. They've got 3 B titles to their names as well, 77, 90 and 99, making up their roll of honour. Crusheen Tubber were crowned B champions here last year, hoping to make the step up to the A grade in what is their first time in the main decider on this big day, this Under-21 final day. They've got 1 A title. It came to Crusheen back in 1969. Crusheen also winning the B in 2004, 2007 and 2008. Tubber, well, their roll of honour is in the B Championship as well. 76, 85 and 02 in the occasions that they lifted silverware. We're almost ready to go. Already we can see some positional switches out there. We look at Colm O'Brien, who has come out to the middle of the park. The breeze ever so gently blowing into us here in the stand. As Fergie mentioned, it'll make nigh on of a difference once this game gets underway. Referee Mullins outside ready to get get proceedings underway. Just checking left and right that everything is good to go. It's Kilmaley versus Crusheen Tubber. The 2019 Clare Under-21A hurling final is on, and it's Crusheen Tubber on the attack. That man we mentioned at the start, Ross Hayes, trying to play it into that inside line. Good work outside there from Joey Droney, the man from Carden, his grandfather, the famous concertina player, and himself too, a minor Clare footballer last year as well. So plenty talent around the Droney household, no doubt about that. James Taff, well, that's a name that's synonymous with Tubber, isn't it? Back we come to Padraig Kelly, a man we're told that's going to be a sharp shooter for the combo here this afternoon, trying to play that crossfield ball over towards Cian Kettler. He just lets that drop for the moment, allows Diarmuid Mullins to come in, lays off a hand pass, nice patient play in now towards Éanna McMahon. McMahon shortened up the grip, but he was half hooked there. Referee spotted a foul. That's going to be a free in for Crusheen Tubber. Good positive start for them, and for a free taker, not to put the hex on him, Fergie, but where a free taker will probably like his first one from.
Yeah, you'd like a free taker to get one that's fairly easy, just to get the confidence levels up, and that thought a relatively soft free going through. The referee indicated maybe around the shoulder area and that. But Derek, it's something Crusheen Tubber will want to do. They'll want to start very well. They'll want to stay in this game because realistically, Kilmaley are raging hot favourites, and if they can put Kilmaley under a little bit of pressure, get a lead in them, and get Kilmaley to work really, really hard, they're in with a chance. But they'll have to stick really, really close. Very scoreable free.
It's James Taft that's coming to strike. It should have no problem with this, and it's just going to the right, and it's going wide. Well, that commentator's curse occurring early on here in this Under-21A final. First wide for Crusheen Tubber, and the score is 0-0 with a minute and a half gone on the clock. Big puck out down into the extra. Sean O'Loughlin went up with one hand, and that looked like a little bit of a wild one, I have to say. And in fairness to young Hayes outside there, he's entitled to take his time on the ground. He's going to be spoken to, Fergie, and you could see it coming once the hand went up. You wouldn't trust it.
No, from where I saw it first off, it was very, very low pull. Derek, you could see it. If he gets away with a yellow card, he does. But you could see that Sean O'Loughlin was watching no ball as it came down from the sky. And he's lucky. I can tell you now, he's very, very lucky to get away with a yellow card, I suppose, because it's early doors. And Joe Mullins, referee, is giving him the benefit of the doubt that he was going to play the ball. But lucky to get away with that. And let's hope that Ross Hayes he seems to be holding his forehead, his hand, and everything else that goes with it. But Sean O'Loughlin can count him as very, very lucky on that occasion, Derek.
Yeah, his brother Brian is just down here underneath us, senior goalkeeper, of course, for Kilmaley as well, and Kevin Mack, the manager. I just saw Kevin Mack just telling Sean to keep the chin up, maybe just taking a bit of a confidence blow with that as much as anything else. But thankfully, Ross Hayes back up onto his feet. He's going to take the free himself as well, the man with those lime green boots outside. Just everybody settling now back into position. No score yet here on the board. 2.5 minutes gone. Crusheen Tubber wearing those red and black jerseys, and Kilmaley, as we've seen them right throughout the championship, in those navy with Pieta House written across the front, which is a nice touch as well, and of course a great charity if you want to get involved with him as well. Ross Hayes going to take this free from his own 65 metre line, should drop in around the danger zone, you'd imagine. There's 6 Crusheen Tubber players inside there waiting, and he's being urged perhaps to just get on with it, taking his time with this one. He got a fair old clatter, so he's entitled to take his time to settle down and take all the time he wants, and lands that one over the bar. That's a fabulous score from Ross Hayes, right from his own 65 metre line, puts Crusheen Tubber on the board. First score of the afternoon. What a brilliant free, Fergie, from a man that was on his knees just moments previous. Yeah,
I was just about to say it, Derek. He got a bad blow to the head, and got up and put over a savage free. And you were just wondering, would you take him out of centre back maybe for them score? We want some 40-45 metres out, because they're all going to be vitally important to Crusheen Tubber. Great score from there.
Absolutely. Crusheen Tubber 1, Kilmaley no score. Looking at the clock, 3.5 minutes gone as they launch yet another attack. This time it's Emmett Quinn trying to drop it into the danger zone. Callan does well in the goal to control that under pressure as he comes out, but gets the hand pass away, and now tries to get them moving inside. Daniel Walsh, the man with Kilmurray Bricking connections, in towards Bradley Higgins, a dominant force in the centre back position for Kilmaley so far this year. Lovely low ball inside to John Finucane, quick hands too as he transfers it into Peter Ronan. A goal in the opening round for this man. He's coming through trying to get another. Ronan with the shot! Oh, that's a fabulous bullet into the bottom left hand corner. John Finucane with the quick wrists here down along the sideline, sent Ronan through. He got a goal against the bridge, 1-0 against Crusheen Tubber. The perfect response to the point from a Kilmaley point of view. What a finish.
What a finish. Great goal by Ronan. We saw him against the bridge put in a great goal as well. But what fantastic play by John Finucane. We just spoke about it off air, Derek, the two of us, that he's very, very unselfish with the ball when he gets it, and that occasion just on the swivel plays the ball right into the path of Ronan. A great goal for Kilmaley.
No doubt Frank and Dan and all the Finucans around Kilmaley will have enjoyed that one as he set up Peter Ronan for the goal. Kilmaley 1 goal, Crusheen Tubber 1 point. 4.5 minutes gone. Al Hayes, Skoda Motors, our commentary sponsors here this afternoon. Off goes Sean O'Loughlin. What a display from him the last day as he potted his first this time. Umpires having a quick look. It looks to have crept inside that right hand post. Good response from Sean O'Loughlin as well. 1-1 Kilmaley, 1 point Crusheen Tubber, and that machine is starting to motor.
That machine is starting to motor, you know, and if we had the time to commentate before Derek, we'd have mentioned that full forward line of Kilmaley. It would have to be rock solid by Crusheen. Their half forward line, Crusheen's half back line, playing very, very far out the field, and there's a load of space in front of that Kilmaley full forward line, and that'll cause serious trouble if they get it.
Bradley Higgins trying to cause more bother as he puts it down the throat of Ronan again. He slipped inside. Ronan's got 1. Ronan's got 2. In the blink of an eye, Peter Ronan adds a second to the back of the net. The umpire waves the green flag once more. Lovely ball to find him from the half back line from Bradley Higgins. He made no mistake, turned inside. 2-1 to a point. 5.5 enthralling minutes.
Yeah, and I suppose the first 3 minutes were Crusheen Tubber, you know, missed a free, got a free, and maybe had 3 attacking. Now in the last 2 minutes, Kilmaley have really, really opened up, and we have a very, very good view from here. Derek, you can see the space between midfield now, even in full forward line. It's going to cause serious trouble for Crusheen Tubber.
It certainly is. There goes that angle ball again, but that's well read inside, and the referee spotted that there was a bit of a flick back there, I think, so he's going to throw it all the way back here for free. It's going to be taken by Sean Kennedy on his own 65 metre line. That angle ball, Fergie, we've spoken so much about it, people think we're repeating ourselves, but here today, up high in the gantry in the park, we've got the perfect view of it, just the way that it switches the attack and puts the defending team on the back foot.
It does, Derek, and the one thing it does, it takes out a full half back line out of the equation. That diagonal ball across field, it's such a great ball to play for forwards. As I said, it takes out the whole half back line, and Kilmaley are very, very good at doing it. But just, you know, again, just to go back to it again, not for the sake of repeating myself, unless Crusheen Tubber now get their half back line closer to the full back line and push back their midfielders and half forward line back to field, it's way too open at the moment.
Sean Kennedy didn't like the sound of that one as he left it Hurling, and he knew the trajectory it was going to take. It registers their first wide of the afternoon. So Kilmaley on the board in terms of the wides. 1 each is how it stands at the moment, but crucially on that scoreboard, Kilmaley 2-1, Crusheen Tubber 1 point. 6.5 minutes gone here in Cusack Park. Puck out to come inside in the goal from Morrick McMahon. He'll put it down that far side of the pitch. That looks to be a breaking ball outside. Wonderful take though by Tom O'Rourke now as he tries to offload that, but Ross Hayes read that perfectly, stepped back into the pocket and tried to angle one through, but again it was read equally well by Tommy Barry, one of the joint captains, along with Sean O'Loughlin here for Kilmaley this afternoon. Sean Kennedy coming over, challenged there by Emma Quinn, and gets away from him. Kennedy settles down on the 65 metre line. We have a bird's eye view of this one. It's going to drop just to the right and wide. You can see that they're not afraid to shoot from distance. We know this man Kennedy has got it in his armoury as well, but just perhaps I'd imagine, Fergie, you need to keep an eye on that white count. Don't let it run up too much too early.
Yeah, that's for sure, Derek. But we've seen the likes of Tom Barry and Sean Kennedy in both games that we covered. You know, their pace, their speed, Tom Barry's aerial presence, and we saw that again. And Sean Kennedy scoring from the half back line. He got 3 points the last day from the half back line. So again, it's a very worrying situation for Crusheen and Tubber. Unless they really bear down and tighten on those players, are going to cause serious trouble.
McMahon seems to be the man that's trying to take up that role of perhaps cutting out that crossfield ball. He did it there with great aplomb as well, but Daniel Walsh in that left corner back position has picked that ball up, drives it down the field. Sean O'Loughlin goes out to win that, pushed in the back as he did. You could see that coming. Himself and Hayes have matched up. That's going to be a cracking old battle, but Sean O'Loughlin now is going to take this free, just wincing a little bit there. Might have got a bit of a dunt up under the ribs as he came out for that one. He'll be fine though, even if there's a slight doubt about it. I'd imagine Brian is going to come in and give him a route and tell him keep things going anyway. Here he is, O'Loughlin, smack bang in the middle of the park, just maybe 10 or 15 yards to the right hand side of the goal, striking in towards the Aldi end of the park. How has he caught this one? It's gone to the right and it's gone wide. Another wide for Kilmaley. That now has become 3. And the longer that goes on, Crusheen Tubber will start to believe, Fergie, that they can come back into this one.
Yeah, you know, we spoke about Sean O'Loughlin's free taking over the last 2 games were absolutely fantastic. You know, he's missed 2 frees already, and maybe from up here we're not considering, maybe there's a little breeze coming back across the field from left to right, maybe there isn't that occasion, but again it will be about Crusheen Tubber now in the next few minutes, Derek, getting a score or two, trying to get a grip on the most important battles in the field, and that's probably their half back line in midfield, because we've seen in other games where Kilmaley really dominate this area and they can cause teams serious trouble.
Darcy is the man that's going to take the line ball right down here in front of us and connected that well. Aidan Kennedy is the target, but that's brilliant play back there by Éanna McMahon. Read that brilliantly, put out the stick and got that ball away to Hayes now, who tries to get that inside line moving. Lovely crossfield ball. Droney is the target. He's having a good old battle over there with Oisín Looney. These two would know each other well too from football circles, and it's Looney, the Milltown man, that gets that one away. Into the middle of the park it comes, just on the D there is Cathal Darcy. Feigned to swing and then just put it on the hurley, tried to get it away, got it through under pressure and somehow squirted through to Sean O'Loughlin. Quick little hand pass off to Éanna McMahon. He spreads it wide, and again Kennedy Aidan is over on that far side being tracked by Ian O'Brien. Now has the ball up into his control, kicks back the heels, finds the space, strikes off the left, but that one gone harmlessly out to the left hand side and wide. 4 wides now for Kilmaley, 2-1 on the scoreboard, 1 point for Crusheen. Just coming up on 10 minutes gone. We haven't seen a score in a while, and after a frantic opening couple of minutes, Fergie, both sides just trying to find their way into it.
Yeah, you've mentioned the 4 wides by Kilmaley. I'd say the 4 of them were very, very scoreable, but again the diagonal ball across to Aidan Kennedy, great ball by Éanna McMahon, setting up a diagonal ball across, and Kennedy on that occasion maybe could have travelled a bit more and came to more central to the goal, and bad wide for Kilmaley.
No matter where you are in the world watching our live stream here this afternoon, do let us know if it's Crusheen, Tubber or Kilmaley that you're shouting for here this afternoon. We'll pass on the messages as the commentary progresses. For the moment it's Crusheen Tubber on the attack. Jonah Culligan, the man from Ballyvaughan, just adjudged to have maybe chopped down on that one. A flaking footballer this fella as well. We saw him come on in the O'Gorman Cup in fact last week for his native Ballyvaughan. Big strong unit he is as well, but on that occasion just adjudged by the referee to have committed a foul, and allows Aaron Maloney, the Kilmaley fullback, to take that free, drives it down along this near touchline. In goes Peter Ronan, this number 13 with 2 goals to his name already, but he's well marshalled there that time by Tyg Dean. Turns around and strikes it over the right shoulder, drops it down here on the line. And you just mentioned that breeze, Fergie, and I think just looking at the way some of that ball has come, we mentioned it's coming in here towards us, it looks to be blowing into the stand, so just making it that little bit trickier perhaps.
Yeah, it is Derek, just watching the Irish flag above here, above the scoreboard, and it is actually, there's a little breeze come from left and right blowing in on top of us here, so it could be causing a little bit of difficulty. We've seen in the last maybe 12 minutes or so with freeze and with a lot of play down this side of the field that breeze probably is a little bit stronger than we think.
Kennedy with that line ball, cutting it down into the corner, looking to find Kennedy Ella. Aidan, that is, flicks it up but wasn't allowed to take it into his hand. That's good strong defending, and Padraig Kelly is back there in his own corner now to play that one right across the square. The fullback Gavin O'Brien settles down, tries to drive it out the field. Tom O'Rourke's inside under this one, puts up that left paw and takes it down. Now heads for the 65 metre line. He's gone past the 65, he's heading now to the 45, strikes it off the hurley. Never really got a hold of it though, and it's a simple enough one inside for Morag McMahon to get it away. O'Brien will reset and go with clearance point 2, drives it down again, but it's a man outside wearing number 6, Bradley Higgins, takes that down. He's fouled, and you have to say the half back line in particular for Kilmaley, Fergie, they're dominating here so far, because we know that inside line with particularly Culligan and Droney, if they get ball they'll cause trouble, but it's not allowed to be fed into them. They're cutting down that space well.
They're playing very, very well, the whole half back line in Kilmaley, Derek, as you've mentioned, really stopping the ball going through and not allowing Tubber Crusheen to set up. But the one worrying little thing I suppose with Crusheen Tubber, not alone when the ball is going up, Derek, they're not making Kilmaley have to work the ball. They're giving away a lot of soft frees and giving that 8 or 9 clearance. Chance here now for Kennedy.
Aidan Kennedy again receiving the ball from Sean Kennedy and pushed out over the sideline there by Ian O'Brien. It's what you'd call, and Fergie loved this one, perhaps a football foul, Fergie, where the hand is on the back when the cornerback comes out. They can have no doubt about that. A chance for Sean O'Loughlin, and just kind of panics defending perhaps when there's no need for it. I mean, Aidan Kennedy wasn't really going anywhere facing into the stand.
No, we always say in coaching terms, you have the sideline as well as your next defender, and he was out on the sideline. There was no need to push him on the back. You stand him up, you make him work. There's only one way he can go if he's on the sideline, and that's come back in. You make him work at the ball, and again, whether it's a difficult free enough, but too many frees Crusheen Tubber giving away, simple frees that they'll need to work a lot harder, keeping in possession and turning over ball.
Sean O'Loughlin striking it from the sideline. It's his most difficult one to date, and well, that one has trailed wide again. 5 wides now for Kilmaley. 2-1 to 1 point they lead on the scoreboard. Both goals coming from Peter Ronan, the point coming from Sean O'Loughlin. And we had the opening score of the game from a Ross Hayes free from Crusheen Tubber. What a take again there by Kennedy. Not the biggest man on the field, but he belittled that stat as he took that ball down, but just perhaps didn't use it the wisest, and neither did Tyg Dean, because rather than clear the ball first time, he put it out over the side. And we can see Pat Taffin, the management team down there, just telling him keep the head up, no time to panic yet. We've got loads of hurling left. We've only 13 and a half minutes played, and they just need to create a couple of scoring chances now, and as you mentioned, Fergie, make Kilmaley work.
Yeah, they need to make Kilmaley work. Where Kilmaley, you know, for the last 6 or 7 minutes haven't got on the scoreboard either. You know, they've kind of dominated play and that, but what Crusheen need to do, they need to get a score on the scoreboard, and again they need to start really getting themselves into this game, because in a lot of positions they're playing settle fiddle.
Cathal Darcy with another peach of a line ball, and Aidan Kennedy controls that one brilliantly on the edge of the D, puts the head down, heads for goal, content to just shorten up the grip and smack that one over the bar. Good work from Kennedy outside. That's his first point of the afternoon. It's the first we've seen in a while as well. 2-2 Kilmaley, 1 point Crusheen Tubber. We know this man is dangerous inside.
Yeah, he's very, very dangerous, and you know, it's only his first score, but he's got several balls into him and he's caused serious trouble inside there. And again, just for the not sake of repeating myself, Derek, we're looking down at here, there's way too much space in front of that Kilmaley full forward line.
Yeah, and there's being certainly utilised at the moment. 2-2 on the scoreboard. Padraig Kelly on the slither, smack bang in the middle of the park, hops it down a la Tony Kelly, but just wouldn't come back up for him, and allowed Sean O'Loughlin to just nip in with the hurley. He needs the help to come, and it comes from Aidan McNamara. Plays the hand pass back now towards Colm O'Brien, and all the way back to Ross Hayes, who's on his own 65 and under pressure as well, trying to bypass that half back line now as he puts a big ball inside. Chance here now for Droney, bearing down on goal. He's got the two Kilmaley defenders around him. Ball goes back to the ground. Conceded the free. They'll prefer that to concede the goal, but just a glimpse of that little dinger outside Droney. When he gets the ball, he can cause problems, and you could see even Ross Hayes' ball in there, Fergie, he wanted to take the half back line out with that kind of, you know, lobby toppy kind of ball on it to get it in over.
Yeah, and they need to do way more of that, Derek. You know, they need to get bypass that half back line of Kilmaley and getting inside, and there was a real good chance there for Droney on that occasion. You know, Aaron Maloney made a mistake, left the ball behind him coming out, and a chance to score here of Crusheen. They badly need it. They need to settle down. They need to start getting a few scores on the board, and again, like we just said, they need to start moving that ball a little bit faster, need to try and get inside the Kilmaley half back line and try and expose that full back line of Kilmaley.
Cian Kettler was the man that pointed that free for Crusheen Tubber, and well, the referee wasn't ready for the puck out to come. It was well worked short, I have to say, between Ronan Cannon and Sean Kennedy, but it's going to have to go all the way back, and I think encouraged, shall we say, Fergie, from the sideline.
It was, and do you know where the ball was going from Sean Kennedy, going across to Aidan Kennedy again, and there was a load of space in front of him, and again I'm just Crusheen Tubber will have to deploy a man back further back the field, otherwise they're going to go out of this game fast and quick.
Ball broken down there again between Ross Hayes and Sean O'Loughlin, and again a good hit being put in as Tom O'Rourke now plays this low ball outside here to Kennedy, and yeah, once again Sean, crossfield ball to Aidan just lets it roll across him. Whether it was intentional or not, it has worked out. He'll hit it off the left hand side from a very tight angle, just hits the outside of the post, and it goes wide. It registers a 6th wide for Kilmaley in this game, just 1 for Crusheen Tubber. 2-2 to 2 points is how it stands. 16 and a half minutes gone, and if we can see it from up here, Fergie, surely to God, you know, everyone else can see the pattern of this game taking shape.
Yeah, and it's very, very obvious that, you know, that there's only one man, even though Ronan has 2 goals got in the other corner, they were more opportunists than anything else, but there's only one plan for Kilmaley, to leave the space in front of Aidan Kennedy and get the ball into him.
Let's play crossfield once more there by the man wearing number 6, Bradley Higgins. It's Sean O'Loughlin who's profited from it, but a good battle going on there between himself and Tyg Dean, and it's a judge that Dean fouled. The Crusheen Tubber management below underneath us here don't agree with that one, but it's going to be a chance once more for Sean O'Loughlin. He's had an off day by his standards from the frees, as his brother Brian, you can see him tearing in there across the D, just issuing the instructions to Aidan Kennedy. I'd imagine the only instruction to Aidan is take him on again the next time, because you're getting joy by when you do inside, there's no doubt about that. But it's going to be Sean O'Loughlin to take this free just on the 45 metre line, slightly to the right hand side of the goal. That breeze we mentioned about, he's going to have to put a left to right spin on this. That left hand upright will surely be his target as he comes to strike this one. Has he caught it? He has. It'll go straight over the black spot. That's the one that'll perhaps settle him down from a Kilmaley perspective. His 2nd point of the afternoon, the first from a free. Kilmaley stretched that lead 2-3 to 2 points, 17 and a half minutes gone, and Crusheen now really have to start putting pressure on that full back line, Fergie.
They will, Derek, and the other thing they'll have to start doing is cutting out the free count. You know, the free count is massive towards Kilmaley, both from their inside full forward line and their half back line now are giving away soft frees.
The full back does very well indeed to thread that one through. Gavin O'Brien to Ross Hayes, gets away from the would-be challenge from O'Loughlin and strikes it off to Hurley, but again it's down the throat to the Kilmaley half-back line, and again it's Bradley Higgins who profits from it. Out he goes to Tommy Barry, strikes it left-handed once again. Aidan Kennedy out in front, once again he's been fouled, once again it's going to be a free. He looks as if he's in a little bit of bother over it. Looked an awkward enough on it, say maybe down across the back of the heel. That can be little bit of a sickening kind of a one, Fergie, when it's, you know, just that scrapey kind of a feeling down along it. Hopefully Aidan will be back up to his feet, but again, you know, playing from the back with a man like him, it's just harum scarum stuff.
It is, and just just as we mentioned, Kilmaley have one game plan, and that is really to get that ball out wide to Aidan Kennedy, and they're doing that. And they had the injury, I suppose it's one Conor back at this stage. He needs to do something if he's not going to beat him, and he's giving him down across the back, maybe stood in the back of his ankle, and he seems to be in a little bit of pain down in there again. But if Crusheen or Tubber have to stay in this game, Derek, they'll have to do something about that. That's firstly to supply ball to Aidan Kennedy, and secondly, the space in front of him, because it's causing him serious trouble.
See Kilmaley just sending a few substitutes down along the sideline to warm up in the event that Aidan Kennedy won't be okay. Hopefully he will, because he's a fella that you want to see hurling, not just for Kilmaley, but maybe perhaps in a saffron and blue jersey for a while as well. I've no doubt the likes of Sean Doyle, Fergal will be looking on in this one. I know it's a while away now in terms of an under-21 championship, but you'd have to imagine that there'll be quite a number of these Kilmaley fellas that'll be lining out when that championship rolls around.
Yeah, you would think so. Their ability, and we spoke about it in our last live streaming, their ability not alone on the ball, but their ability off the ball, their work ethic was very, very good against Kilmaley, but they're used to the ball, and I've commented already, is very, very good. I think most of their forwards, when they're not in position to score, they're finding men, they're recycling the ball very, very well, and where Aidan Kennedy, the biggest man in the world, but when you play a game that suits him, how effective it can be, and Kilmaley are really playing that effective stuff, again giving him the space in front and allowing the real use of the park and that full forward line.
And we've got the B and C finals, of course, as well this afternoon. They're on down in Six Mile Bridge a little later on this evening. Newmarket versus Broadford, and Kilmaley second string taking on Bodyke as well. And an interesting little stat on that: Crusheen Tubber won the B final last year. They're back in action as well. Bodyke were the C champions. They're also in action today as well. Kilmaley though winning the A, but they're in action in the C. So it kind of goes in cycles, this 21 championship, doesn't it, Fergie? I suppose you have that span where teams will dominate, and I suppose it's about clubs making the most of it while they have it.
Yeah, it is. They'll come up with a good group of players, and you have to make here when the sun shines, and in this occasion, and I give great credit to Kilmaley. I know they have massive numbers. Just looking at their panel here, 39-40 players on their panel. It's a massive surplus of players to be working from. But in fairness, even to the senior championship over the last year or so, Derek, they're giving defeat to a lot of young fellas, and they're going to benefit from that.
They certainly are. Let's see, will they benefit from that free from Sean O'Loughlin? No. Again, it goes to the left and it goes wide. It's a seventh, and I think that's about maybe 4 or 5 in terms of the free count as well. Maybe time for management to perhaps look at a change of free taker, or will they stay, keep the faith with Sean that he'll come good? We'll have to just wait and see. They still hold the lead on the scoreboard though, 2-3 to 2 points. We've got 21 minutes on the clock. Al Hayes, Skoda Motors, our commentary sponsors here this afternoon. Puck out once more for Murroch McMahon. Again, that far side of the field is his target. Culligan is over there, and in fairness to Bradley Higgins, he wasn't sure whether to come or to leave it. Eventually got caught in no man's land, and allows Éanna McMahon now to come on to this one. Spins around from the would-be tackle, drops it in, but looks as if that's a little bit wasteful as it goes out to the right hand side and it goes wide. Probably didn't know Fergie, I'd imagine, if he was going for a shot or trying to find the teammate for a finish. He did neither.
No, he did neither, and it was a bad wide, but you just see where he is. Derek, Éanna McMahon, the wing back for Crusheen Tubber, he's up in the half back line, the Kilmaley half back line, so again allowing the space. Aidan Kennedy is going to come back on now, but it just the Kilmaley just allowing him to drift out in front, and again leaving all the space in front of Éanna McMahon. He's here in front of us. I can't understand it, that why, what's the idea of him playing up in his own half forward line when he should be really covering the space in front of Aidan Kennedy. It's mind boggling, but sure, and if they don't curve that shortly, they're going to be in serious trouble.
Certainly are a chance to leave their lines, and a bit of a let-off as well there as Cathal Darcy cut through and popped that over. Referee judged that he'd overcarried the ball, and it allows Crusheen Tubber to clear their lines there, down into an attacking position, but a great hook back there now once more as we look at O'Brien trying to play that one again, but Maloney now back there, tackled by both Droney and Aidan McNamara, has to head for the terracing stand over on that far side to safety, and he does, off his left hand side, clears it well. John Finucane now trying to get his paw to this one, but there's 2 Crusheen Tubber men around him. One of them is Éanna McMahon. Into the centre it comes now to Ross Hayes, settles down and cuts a lovely crossfield ball right in the direction of Droney, but just a little bit too much on it perhaps. Oisin Looney has all the time in the world to go back, collect it from the end line and play it down this near side of the pitch to Aidan Kennedy. Pops a lovely little hand pass off towards Sean Crowley, another of the Kilmehel contingent here this afternoon. Great crossfield ball right into the centre it comes. Kilmehel meets Kilmehel as Crowley finds Finucane, but Finucane just finds the waiting paw of Murroch McMahon inside the Crusheen Tubber goal, and he settles down and drives it right back to where it came from, right into the hand it goes though of Daniel Walsh. Plays it down this near side again, swings across Peter Ronan in towards Kennedy. Lovely little knockdown in front of him, just didn't work out though because that Crusheen Tubber defence stood firm. Gavin O'Brien picked it up. Ross Hayes has struck the world of ball here so far, but not too much of it has found a fellow Crusheen Tubberman, because Arden Maloney has picked that one up. Into the centre comes Bradley Higgins is fouled. It's going to be a free out again for Crusheen Tubber. Even at this early stage, Fergie, okay, we've got 6 minutes to go to the break, 2-3 to 2 points, but there seems to be just a kind of an air of inevitability about this game perhaps playing out.
There is, Derek, and if Kilmaley had taken maybe 5 of those 7 wides, and there were poor wides, they were very, very scoreable, the game would have been out of sight, but they just has that thing that every time there's an attack, even though Crusheen Tubber on that occasion, last attack dealt with it a little bit better, but every time there's an attack, you're thinking there's going to be either a free or a score out of it. And Aidan Kennedy's still in a little bit of trouble up there. I see gingerly his leg, he's limping on his leg, and that if he's been the real thorn in Crusheen Tubber's problem for the first half, Derek, and just watching him again coming out gingerly limping on that leg, and another wide for Kilmaley, and let's hope they don't go home tonight and have cost all these wides that they're having.
Yeah, 8 wide so far. The latest coming from Sean Kennedy there from his own 65 metre line. So obviously that breeze down there is a hell of a lot stronger than we're giving it credit for up here in the gantry in Cusack Park. As we watch that ball over on the far side, Kennedy just failing to keep it in play on that occasion. It's going to be a line ball for Crusheen Tubber right on their own 45 metre line, so at the wrong side of the pitch in terms of where they want to be playing this game as we move towards the half-time break. 2-3 to 2 points, 5 minutes to go to half-time, and no doubt is it Johnny Healy that's down there as the fourth official. We'll see him putting up the board here in just a couple of moments time. For the moment, Ross Hayes has gone across. Looks like this man is having to do everything in that Crusheen Tubber defence at the moment. Takes that line ball, didn't really get a very clean connection on it, and allows the Kilmaley men to come forward. It's the number to Tommy Barry that was coming through on that occasion. Tom O'Rourke was over there as well. O'Rourke took a little bit of a dunt, just getting back up to his feet now, but Crusheen Tubber continuing on the attack. Good hand pass inside there to the wing back Éanna McMahon, and he plays inside to Culligan right hand side of the pitch, striking across as he does. This would be a great point if he lands it, and lands it he does. Jonah Culligan with a point that Crusheen Tubber badly needed. It's their first from play, it's their third overall. Those 2 goals separate the sides. 2-3 to 3 points, 5 minutes to go to the break. They'll look to build on that now.
Yeah, they will, and they worked the ball a little bit better, worked it through the lines, and just didn't puck it away for the sake of it. And Culligan came out well off the full forward berth and put over a good score. They need a few more of those. Puck
out, broke down once more here in the middle of the park, and ball there to be won. It's Kilmaley who comes across. There was a little bit of a step across there by Éanna McMahon on Sean Crowley. I know Sean's not the biggest man in the world, but he's not too easy to knock off the ball either, in fairness to him. So it's going to be a free once more for the men from Kilmaley. Tom O'Rourke now is going over. He's the latest to have a go at it, is how it looks. We've seen O'Loughlin take them. We've also seen Sean Kennedy take them from the half back line, but now it's the man wearing number 12, Tom O'Rourke. He is smack bang in the middle of the park coming to strike this one. Again, breeze as we mentioned blowing in here to the stand. Kilmaley those 6 points in front, 2-3 to 3 points. Will he take them to double digits for the day? It looks as again there's a tail on that one, and it's gone to the right and it's gone wide. It's one thing we haven't seen. I was just looking back over the notes from the last day, Fergie. I think through extra time and everything, we didn't see Kilmaley notch up this amount of wides. They're near double figures, and we've still only a full half to play.
Yeah, it's worrying where they have been the very dominant team, Derek, in this 26-27 minutes gone in the first half. They still haven't pulled away from Crusheen Tubber. The 2 goals are separating the two teams, and it's a worrying point. It's a worrying point for Kilmaley, where we've seen them to be very, very consistent from play and from frees in taking their scores. They have a lot of bad wides today.
Bit of defending to do now as the ball slipped through, and it's going to be finished at the back of the net by Aidan McNamara. All the hard work done by Colm O'Brien. Won the ball in the corner. McNamara made a lovely angle run off the shoulder, and he took it on and just slipped it past the onrushing Ronan Canlon. Now just 3 points between the sides. 2-3 Kilmaley, 1-3 Crusheen Tubber. 2.5 minutes to go to the break, and worryingly from a Kilmaley point of view, I saw young Bradley Higgins on his honkers there saying he couldn't straighten out the knee. Looked as if he's in a good deal of pain down there as well. Hopefully they can sort that out, but he threw his hurley back, indicated to the ref that he couldn't actually go back and pick it up. But let's stay with what happened on the field, Fergie. A goal perhaps against the run of play, but now just 3 points in the game, and suddenly those 9 wides from Kilmaley looked a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, they do, and we just had mentioned that, where the dominance of Kilmaley was very much to the fore, but, they still hadn't pulled away a lot of bad wides, and they're relieving Crusheen Tubber in the game. And if you just wanted to order something from a doctor, that goal for Crusheen Tubber just to bring them into half time and giving them a small glimpse of hope, one scoring game. But you're right, Bradley Higgins looks to be in a little bit of trouble, even though a little bit more comfortable now than he was initially when he went down. But 9 wides for Kilmaley, a very, very poor return to date from those, and a lot of them very, very scoreable. But they'll just have to settle back down again, and they'll have to get back to what they were doing very, very well in the last maybe 10 or 15 minutes of getting the ball into that full forward.
Yeah, it looks as if Bradley is in a little bit. Don't think he's going to be able to continue in this final. And looking down there, the man that came on the last day and got 2 points off the bench as well, James Maguire, is going to be coming on. The man wearing number 20, Bradley, going off. None too happy to be doing just that. But unfortunately, from his point of view, it looks as if his race is run in this game. So Maguire is going to come in. That'll mean kind of a restructuring in terms of the setup, I'd imagine, for Kilmaley. And apologies for Rory McGann. It's Rory McGann that's down as the fourth official there this afternoon. I thought it was Johnny Healy there for a quick second. No doubt Rory, or Anne-Marie won't be too long reminding me of that one. So Rory McGann, a very experienced official he is as well, of course, refereeing at both national and provincial level as well. He's our fourth official here. That change confirmed. Maguire is in. Bradley Higgins is off, and there's just 3 points between the sides. We're heading towards the break. We'll have about 4 minutes, I'd imagine, of additional time just due to those couple of stoppages here in this opening period. And Crusheen Tower now looking to build on that goal, do what good teams do and make a goal worth a hell of a lot more than 3. Tom O'Rourke will try to stop them doing just that. Aidan Kennedy again is the target in the corner. This time he's met by a late old challenge over, and in fairness to Jonathan Mullins, I have to say he had no option but to give that free. They're frustrating kind of fouls to be giving away, Fergie, because when your tail is up and the kilter is up, that kind of kills momentum a small bit.
It does, and unnecessary frees. And up to a few minutes ago, I thought Crusheen Tower had turned the corner, and on the free count, they're starting to win a few balls and moving it through the lines. But again, unnecessary free to give it away. Ball had broken off the hurley of Aidan Kennedy. He still had a massive amount of work to do. Not alone he's given away a free, now he's picked up a yellow card as well. And again, a very, very scoreable position. But we've seen Kilmaley from these positions today missing those. So the need again for Kilmaley's sake, they need to get a score on the board again and get back into it.
5 minutes of additional time have been announced here in Cusack Park as Sean O'Loughlin takes that. It hits the inside of the post and drops over. I'd say he was never so pleased to see it hitting that particular part of the post. It's his 3rd point of the afternoon, his 2nd from a free, and he will be no doubt grateful for that one. 2-4 Kilmaley, 1-3 Crusheen Tower. Exactly 30 minutes and 34 seconds played, and we have 5 minutes of additional time before we'll hear that half-time whistle. Will it be Kilmaley pushing on, or could Crusheen Tower build and maybe just arrest that gap a little bit more? Éanna McMahon trying to do just that, picks it up again, that crossfield ball again, it has to be defended, breaks down, and McNamara is the man outside there, the goal scorer, picks it up on the verge of the D, but he's being pushed back towards the 45 metre line. Great defending outside from Oisin Looney, ball going into that little bit of a scrum, and Cathal Darcy kicks it clear, and off we go there with Tommy Barry playing a crossfield to John Finucane. He's come deep to win this one, plays it off to Tom O'Rourke, down the throat again of Aidan Kennedy, and again that left hand is out as he goes clear and heads in towards the 45 metre line, in towards Maguire, but that's read brilliantly by Tyg Dean. He scoops it clear, does what a cornerback should do, gets it out of danger, and then decides to deal with it. Booms a big high looping ball right down onto the Kilmaley 45 metre line. That ball broken down. McMahon comes onto it again, trying to pick it up, and driving through now is Cian Kettler. He's got a point from a free already, kicking that ball clear. Suddenly there's a bit of space. Has he got the pace to get past Maloney? No is the answer. He plays it out to the far side, and it's going to be picked up by Joey Droney, meeting Oisin Looney outside there. Droney cuts in from a very tight angle, but Ronan Canlon takes it underneath the crossbar, drives it out the field. Tom O'Rourke on the 45, and now suddenly the play is right down at the other end of the field, and good battle going on outside there again between Peter Ronan and Tyg Dean, and it's Ronan who's trying to pick it up, and so too there is Éanna McMahon. Gets it out here now to Sean O'Loughlin, very close to the sideline, and they're all getting a little bit worked up down here as the referee blows the whistle. I think he's going to decide just to blow it in. Kevin McNamara is going down, telling him, I suppose, exactly what he thinks the decision should be. Referee getting the ball off the linesman, and he's going to just wait till the helmet has gone in. And let's see who's going to go in for this one. It's going to be Maguire, and it's going to be Ross Hayes as well. Ball in, Maguire almost took it up. Hayes picks it there, so too is Éanna McMahon. Again, that scrum starts to develop. I know Munster are in action too, but they'll be proud of this one here in the park on the 45. Referee will throw it in. It'll squirt clear somehow, but you'd imagine that Kilmaley will perhaps please Fergie that there's maybe a minute wasted with that.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit scrappy, and they probably will suit Crusheen Tower a little bit more because really the game plan for the first 10 minutes of Kilmaley thing is going to have Sean Kennedy in here again, Derek.
Certainly is, and that man Ian O'Brien has got his hands full over on that far side. Kennedy down on his hands and knees, but O'Brien does very well indeed, and he gives the foul away. Somehow the defender gets the benefit of the doubt. Fergie, in your experience, was it always the attacker got the benefit of the doubt?
No, never. 50-50 all the time. And again, I thought he was a bit hard done by, but they've got to grips just a little bit with Aidan Kennedy. A bit unlucky, maybe he didn't get a free on that occasion. But Derek, Crusheen Tower, will be going in at half time. They'll be saying, they haven't played extraordinarily well. They're still in the race, and it'll be about him coming out in the second half now and being a little bit smarter in the second half, closing up the space in front of the real danger and Aidan Kennedy and that, and they're still in this game.
You mentioned Aidan Kennedy, you just see him again limping on that right leg. I don't know if he's at 100% tilt. Maybe a bit of a rub at half time might do him the world of good. We'll stay with the play just for this particular moment, because again it's picked up inside there by Colm O'Brien. He slaps it, but it goes to the left and it goes wide. It's just their third wide of the afternoon, but what a big score that could have been just before the break to cut the gap back to 3. As it stands, Kilmaley 2-4, Crusheen Tubber 1-3. We've got a minute of the injury time period left to go here in Cusack Park. Big puck out, dropping right down onto the 65 metre line. The sticks and the hands go up, but it's dropping right into the hands of Peter Ronan. Again, looks up, plays that crossfield ball, knows that Aidan Kennedy is going to be there. This time he's come a little bit more central, trying to make the angle off the right if he strikes this over, but couldn't get the power behind it. And he's indicating that he got a little bit of a belt there as well. He looked like a tired kind of a strike, Fergie. I'm not quite sure, as you mentioned, if Aidan is at 100% tilt at the moment, but referee not giving a free. I'd say he'll throw the ball in as things stand, but never just really got the power behind it.
He didn't, and there was 5 Crusheen Tupper players around him. You're right, he got that ball more central than out in the flanks that he's normally used to getting it wide of him. He got that more central, but they swarmed around him like bees around honey, Derek, and closed him down. And I think he just, as he went to strike it, one of the Crusheen Tupper lads went to get a hook in and got a little flick at the side of his ear and that. But look at, as I said, great chance for Crusheen Tupper, just missed up here from Colm O'Brien. Colm O'Brien, it was a great chance for a score to put in a one-score game, again a goal in it, but they'll be going in happy enough. Crusheen Tubber, even though they're down to 3 or 4 points, they're still in this game, and it'll all be for Kevin Macno and Brian O'Loughlin going in at half time and settling down Kilmaley, getting them back into the routine, because as we said, the advantage we have of seeing Kilmaley, that we've seen him twice playing, that fluency, that real pace and speed that we've seen him bear maybe the first 10 minutes there, we haven't seen it today yet.
Certainly haven't. No, Morgan McMahon takes the free. It was indicated to be one of those indirect ones. He wasn't going to score from the verge of his own square anyway, but the ball goes out over the sideline off the stick there of Tom O'Rourke. It's going to be a line ball for Crusheen Tubber. You'd imagine it's going to be the last play of the half. 35 minutes 43 seconds is what the scoreboard tells us is the time, and that line ball is going to be taken by Emmett Quinn. He's one of the joint captains along with Gavin O'Brien, the full back for the Crusheen Tubber men. Striking this ball on the 65 metre line, caught it well, but again well read by Tom O'Rourke as the half time whistle is blown. Kilmaley 2 goals and 4, Crusheen Tubber 1 goal and 3. 2 early goals from Peter Ronan, putting Kilmaley in the driving seat before Aidan McNamara slotted it underneath Ronan Canlan to bring Crusheen Tubber right back into this game. Just a 4-point gap at the break, Fergie, and all things being equal, the game certainly there to be won.
Yeah, certainly there to be won. As I said, it was all about Kilmaley basically for 20-25 minutes of that game, that first half, and they'll be going in, and I suppose they'll have to put behind them the missed chances. 9 wides is a big tally to have missed in the first half. But in fairness to Crusheen Tubber, they've stuck in there. They've got a vital goal that has given them a bit of a lifeline going in. But for Kilmaley, it's about them settling back in and trying getting back into their routine that really suits them. And it's about Crusheen really going at it now again, throwing the shackles off. They've nothing to lose now. They're still in this game, and Kilmaley have left them in it, so it's all interesting and times for the second half.
Certainly is. Just one point of note there, just saw Aidan Kennedy limping into the dressing room there, so obviously he's going to require a little bit of treatment as well. And now there's a second team out in the field from Kilmaley in terms of the substitutes pucking around. It's an incredible sight. They've got 39 numbers and 2 lads on the extended panel, as we call it, and one of those in fact is a former Clare minor and the former Garrod Grady, so that'll tell you the strength and depth that Kilmaley have at the moment in this Clare under 21A Hurling. 2-4, Crusheen Tubber 1-3. The second half is to come very shortly. Do stay tuned. Back to Cusack Park for the second half of the Clare Under-21A hurling final in 2019. Kilmaley 2 goals and 4. Crusheen Tubber 1-3 is what the scoreboard tells us here at half time. Both Kilmaley goals coming from Peter Ronan. 3 points for Sean O'Loughlin, 1 from play and 2 from frees. And a point off the stick as well of Aidan Kennedy. They've lost centre back Bradley Higgins in that first half. He's been replaced by James Maguire. From a Crusheen Tubber perspective, Ross Hayes opened their scoring. We then had a goal from Aidan McNamara and points as well from Cian Kettler and Jonah Culligan, making up their tally so far. 4 points between the sides. We don't appear to have any changes at half time. From a Kilmaley perspective, Aidan Kennedy is backlining out at top of the left. What you can hear there overhead us is the rescue helicopter, hopefully just a training exercise, and no one likes to see that heading out towards the river. Second half almost ready to get back underway. Both teams fired up, Fergie. 4 points between the sides. As we mentioned, it's there, whoever wants it.
Yeah, it's there, whoever wants it, and I suppose for Crusheen Tubber to be staying in the game for as long as they can now in the second half, getting the first score or two, putting the doubts into the Kilmaley's heads. But, we were just talking about that fear, I suppose, when we haven't seen Bradley Higgins gone off. Carl Darcy's been relative quiet, Sean Crowley relative quiet in the middle of the field, Sean O'Loughlin not he's same Sean O'Loughlin we know, and John Finucane bar the first 5 minutes out of the game, so Kilmaley really way below par.
Crusheen Tubber are the first to try and arrest the scoreboard, and it's that man wearing number 13, Colm O'Brien, who picked that up, but Daniel Welch goes back. He's dragged down to the ground. It's going to be a free out for Kilmaley straight away, and it's going to be Aaron Maloney, the man that's going to clear their lines. As we mentioned, we can't spot any half-time changes on either side. Fergie will keep a beady eye out there, but as we mentioned, we're fairly certain that it's the same 30 that we went in at half-time. One of those is Aidan Kennedy, steps back and plays a little ball over the top, trying to play it into the path there of Maguire. He looked to have been pushed to the back. Referee allows the play to go on. Well picked up by Ian O'Brien, and again ball going back to the ground. Padraig Kelly picks it up, comes clear, tries to get the space, but half hooked, and he's opposite number 8. Cathal Darcy is the man that comes in, going backwards off the right from 45 metres out, splits the post brilliantly. He gets the opening score of the second half. That was always going to be a big one. One number 8 couldn't clear it, one number 8 profited. It's a good skill, Fergie, you know it from coaching. Going backwards, not an easy strike.
It's not an easy strike, and I just had mentioned Cathal Darcy, not himself, that we know he can perform, but I know that will settle him into the game, and a great score.
Tommy Barry playing it down the throat there of Aidan Kennedy, tried to flick it over the head of Ian O'Brien, but in fairness to Kelly, he was alert to that danger and finds Ross Hayes, who winds up for a big one in between his own 65 and 45 when he hit that, but it's going to go to the left and it's going to go wide. It's their first wide of the second half. It's their fourth in total, and perhaps could have used that possession a little bit clever.
Yeah, a little bit clever. He was in a difficult position. He was under a little bit of pressure. Sean O'Loughlin was coming in the block. Hit that full forward line with that ball, I'd be saying.
Tom O'Rourke takes that ball down brilliantly, pops the hand pass off to Peter Ronan. 2 goals in the first half and a point now in the second as Kilmaley strike the first 2 of the second half to stretch clear 2-6 to 1-3. It looks like a much healthier scoreboard now from their perspective as they go those 6 points clear. Puck out is here coming now from Morrick McMahon. Crusheen Tubber will have to respond to this. We know they've got the dangerous inside line to do it, but they need the sliotar if they're going to have an effect on it. Sean Kennedy's in no mood to give it back to them. Tom O'Rourke shouldn't be either as he sprays that crossfield ball. That's a wonderful stick up there by Tyg Dean, because in behind him was John Finucane and he was going to be clear, and Dean did very well indeed to hold on to that ball, but now has to get rid of it. Turns, strikes it over the shoulder and right down the throat of the defence it goes again, but Tommy Barry, he's alert to the danger, and again it's that crossfield ball. It's Kennedy, but Kelly is the man that steps back. Maguire robs him in possession though, and from the 45 metre line Maguire makes it 3 in a row for Kilmaley here at the start of this second period. It's the start that Crusheen Tubber needed, Fergie. It's the one that Kilmaley wanted, and suddenly that scoreboard now that's 7 points clear.
Yeah, it's the start Crusheen Tubber needed, but Kilmaley have got it, and again very intelligent play, diagonal ball across the field, and John Maguire, a great score again, falling back off the shoulder. Maybe I thought he should have run a little bit more with it, but no, got a great score.
He certainly did. Ian McMahon has profited from that breakdown, and Sean Kennedy's the man that's going to play it clear, and Peter Ronan is the one that has it over on that far side of the field. Finds Cathal Darcy in space, and everyone is being told to go, but Darcy stands on the line, half blocked down as he did that. He had men in space. One of them was Maguire. Maybe that's where the ball should have gone. Gavin O'Brien though, and all of Crusheen Tubber are glad that it didn't, as he clears his lines right down between the 45 and 65 metre line. It comes. O'Brien tried to pick it up, but a combination of O'Rourke and Tommy Barry drive it clear, but not all that effectively. as Ross Hayes now has to come in to tidy up. Diarmuid Mullins was the man that stepped back and won it from that initial one. Ball again played into the corner. It's into the direction of Joey Droney. Himself and Oisin Looney are having a right good battle in that occasion. It's Droney who comes out on top. The number 12 settles down. Cian Kettler, if he can catch the angle on that, but he can't. It's gone to the left hand side and it's gone wide. 5 wides for Crusheen Tubber, 9 as he spoke about for Kilmaley. 2-7-1-3, 3 minutes gone in the second half, and suddenly Kilmaley looking that little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, a little bit more comfortable, on that occasion, last occasion, phase of play, maybe Crusheen Tubber should have got that score, maybe worked the ball a little bit better into score position, but we've seen the win difficulty now already, 3 wides for Crusheen Tubber in the second half. That's a difficult breeze playing into that goal.
Jonah Culligan doing all the hard work there as McNamara plays it back now to Diarmuid Mullins, and he had the bit of space in front of him, pops it off, kind of handball style there, but got away with it as the ball is played across the D once more. But that Kilmaley defence is swarming. Sean Kennedy's there battling away with McNamara, but Kennedy has it up into the paw, gives it back outside to Maloney, and he just slaps it clear. Good ball it was too to Sean O'Loughlin, had to think twice about controlling it, and it allowed McMahon just to nip in. Now it comes back to Ross Hayes, sold the dummy there to Tom O'Rourke. He wasn't buying it, but he bought the free, so he did right smack bang in the middle of the park. He will take it. He'll settle down. They need this one now just to get back into the game, and no doubt Ross Hayes is a man that takes his time when he's hitting a free. He got a brilliant one from his own 65 in the first half. Seems to just have this routine that he goes through. If he gets the same return, he won't mind too much. As you can see, he's standing right on that halfway line here in Cusack Park, striking in towards that old scoreboard end. Here he comes, Ross Hayes. The breeze seems to have caught this one. They're confident that it's going wide, and it is. It's gone out to the right and it's gone wide. Obviously, Fergie, then we'll obviously hear from the lads afterwards, but that breeze must be a hell of a lot stronger than we think.
Yeah, it's making it very difficult anyway from free taking perspectives, Derek. It seems to be going from left to right and blowing across the goal, and it's something I suppose at half time you'd have been telling Crusheen Tubber, and taking something out of that caused Kilmaley trouble, that you make sure it goes more to the left and the right when you're taking it, but all those chances Crusheen Tubber will have to be taken.
Sean Kennedy back there battling away with Jonah Culligan. There too is Oisin Looney, and it's Looney that comes away with it down that far side of the field, gets the hand pass away. Cathal Darcy drops back deep, tackled high around the neck there by Joey Droney. That'll certainly be a free, and I'd imagine as well it'll be a talking to by the referee Jonathan Mullen, the man from Clonlara, who ironically Kilmaley face in the Clare Cup tomorrow morning in Kilmaley with a 11:30 start. I don't think there'll be too many of them boys outside if they win that'll take part in that. I'd say PJ Murphy and all the lads in Kearney's will have a fair old night of it if Kilmaley are bringing back that under 21A title. Joey Droney going into Jonathan Mullins' book. I think he'll be back up onto his feet over there too, will Cathal Darcy, a man that we know is of an heroic persuasion, Fergie, but what a hurler for Kilmaley, and we've seen him in several squads right up to this grade as well.
Yeah, he's a very, very good hurler, great energy levels. I thought the park would be made for him today. We haven't seen the best of him yet, but there's still time. Kilmaley need for him to get on a little bit more ball, need to start running at that Crusheen Tubber half-back line.
But at the moment it's the Kilmaley half-back line that's under pressure, and a foul committed there by Sean O'Loughlin, who just needs to be a little bit careful. Remember, he's on that early yellow card as well for that first challenge on Ross Hayes, so just shouldn't be bringing himself to the attention of Jonathan Mullins too frequently throughout the second half period. He's one of the joint captains, as we mentioned. Himself and Tommy Barry, the wing back, will be making their way up the steps if Kilmaley come out on top. From a Crusheen Tubber point of view, it's Gavin O'Brien and Emmett Quinn, who both have JC written beside their names in today's matchday programme. Ross Hayes is the man to take the free, just shy of the Kilmaley 65 metre line as he bends and just looks, and it's a very distinctive style as well, to remind you of a certain man from 6 Mile Bridge who just struck off the opposite side of the body as he went striking that one, and it's going to be over the bar. Whatever routine Ross Hayes goes through, he'll be happy enough with that. It's a second pointed free. They needed it just to settle him back in. 2-7 Kilmaley, 1-4 Crusheen Tubber. 7 minutes gone second half. Al Hayes, Skoda Motors, your commentary sponsors. Let's stay with Tommy Barry as he plays a lovely crossfield ball there to Sean O'Loughlin on that occasion. Lovely stick control from him too. Settles down on the 20 metre line at an angle as he strikes that one. An umpire nods to the other. Sean O'Loughlin looks now as if he's got the eye in. That's his first point of the second half. Not an easy angle to strike from, but he made it look very simple.
Yeah, that's more the Sean O'Loughlin. We know he's gone in full forward now, and I think James Maguire and Finucane are gone out to the half, or John Finucane's gone out to the half forward line, so they've moved Sean O'Loughlin inside to full forward and got a fantastic return straight away. First ball in onto his good side and fantastic score on the run.
They'll have another attacking platform now with this line ball over on that far side. It's the man wearing number 12, Tom O'Rourke, that's going to strike this. We've seen some brilliant fielding from him so far in this game. Good line ball as well, and just held up there with a little bobble that benefited O'Loughlin as he went for it. But it's the Crusheen Tubber defence to drive it clear there with Éanna McMahon. Right down again, O'Rourke. What did I say about fielding? What a catch from him. Into Finucane, winds up for a big one, but he fairly telegraphed it in fairness to Padraig Kelly, who had all the time in the world to come in and get that block down, and now they'll try and profit from this one. Jonah Culligan has come deep for it, under pressure from O'Rourke and from Daniel Walsh and Cathal Darcy as well. Ross Hayes goes in to try and kick this one clear. It's going to have to squirt one way or the other, and it does in here to the direction of Padraig Kelly. Oh, that's a lovely low little pick up. He made that look so easy, shortens up the grip and just drops it right down into the throat of that full forward line. Droney's inside around, but look who's there. Oisin Looney won a county senior football championship medal with Milltown here back in October, and on the brink now of winning an under 21A medal with Kilmaley as well. No doubt Aidan would be very, very pleased if he does. Tyg Dean has the ball on that far side of the field and again tries to get that inside line moving, but look at that, 4 Kilmaley men swarming around Aidan McNamara, the goal scorer from the first half for Crusheen Tubber. Never gave him a sniff of it out there. Diarmuid Mullins tries to go in to pick it up as well, pulled down to the ground. That's going to be a free in, and Kilmaley just giving it away, and you don't want to be letting the free takers get their eye in. Hayes is going to come forward for this one, but it's perhaps kind of a metaphor perhaps, Fergie, for the game in itself. Crusheen Tubber having to work so hard for their scores.
Yeah, every score they have to really work very, very hard, and every chance that they are going to get Derek, they have to be taken on, because the game is slipping away from as time goes on. If they don't put Kilmaley under a little bit of pressure, put them on the back foot, get them thinking a little bit more, Kilmaley are within their comfort zones and are just able to tap on them a few points and stay ahead. Good score by Hayes.
Yeah, Ross Hayes finds the target there from the 45 metre line. That's his third free of the afternoon, his second of the second half, and Crusheen Tubber just edging back into the game. 2-8 Kilmaley, that's 14 points. 1-5 for Crusheen Tubber, that is 8, so a 6-point gap between the sides as we head towards the 10th minute of this second period. Tommy Barry driving that ball into the direction of Aidan Kennedy. Look at the way he sticks down that left hand and just grabs it into him in a lovely way to pass to from Maguire, but just the bobble rugby like just took it away from him at the crucial time and allows Éanna McMahon to find Jonah Culligan all his own here in the middle of the field. Lovely measured ball down the throat of Joey Droney. Himself and Looney go off on a little mini battle once more, and again it's Looney standing strong, but Droney won't give up. He'll battle away to his heart's content. So too will this man McNamara. A goal in the first half, but the ball just ripped out of him there, and Looney shortens up the grip and gets it threaded through. A Milltown man finds a Kilmurray man. Daniel Walsh comes through up to the 45 metre line, being chased by Jonah Culligan. The pace of Walsh now starting to tell. Culligan not giving up, but he was fouled there, was Daniel Walsh. And it's an indication of the confidence these Kilmaley defenders in particular have in themselves, Fergie. A number 2 soloing all the buns at 30 yards, and if there was more green grass he'd have gone another 30.
Yeah, and they're very tidy. I'm very impressed, and just under campaign with Oisin Looney, I think he's very tidy cornerback. Even though he's not in possession of the ball, he can overturn ball. Very solid, very disciplined, as is Daniel Walsh. On that occasion got the ball. The right idea was to go with it, run with it. He was in trouble, he was going to be blocked down or hooked, but he, as he said, he made good headway up on it and create an atmosphere where he got a free. This is scoreable now again for Sean O'Loughlin.
As you can see, he is dead smack bang in the middle of the park, maybe 1 or 2 steps to the left hand side of the goal as he hits toward the Cloister end here in Cusack Park. Looks to have caught that well, and he certainly has. That's found the range after a difficult opening period for Sean O'Loughlin. Suddenly his personal tally reads 5, 3 of those coming from frees, 2 from play as Kilmaley respond. All they have to do now, you'd imagine, is go score for score. 2-9 to 1-5 as the puck out is taken once more. Maguire is the man that's got on the scoreboard. He's now got on the ball as well, heading towards the 45 metre line, sells the dummy and tries to get through. He was in challenge there by the number 8 Padraig Kelly. Needs the support to come, and it does, in the form of Tommy Barry taking off along the sideline, striking off the left. If he can curl this one in to be a lovely score, just couldn't get the whip on it. We've seen Tony Kelly do it ad nauseum from that right hand or left hand side of the pitch here in the park, but on that occasion Tommy Barry just trailing it out to the right hand side and wide. Al Hayes, Skoda Motors, our commentary sponsors this afternoon. Ball dropping into the middle of the park. Cathal Darcy goes back and picks up the break, gets it away, didn't have to shorten the grip. Kelly is back there. Will he profit from this one? Aidan Kennedy goes up, breaks it down to himself, gets through. It was a big heavy hit coming in there from Ian O'Brien. In fairness, it was an honest to God I'll go shoulder to shoulder with you kind of a challenge, and Kennedy was just that little bit too small to take it, but the ball is still there to be won. Éanna McMahon is the man that comes away with it down along this near side of the pitch, and it's Cian Kettler, a point for him from a free in that opening period, playing it down into that full forward line. A cheap old push in the back there from Daniel Walsh on Colm O'Brien is going to be another free. Ross Hayes striding forward to take it. Aidan Kennedy just getting the bottle of water. In fairness, Fergie, not much in that that challenge, Ian O'Brien just came in and said, I'm taking you on this time.
Yeah, I think it was more frontal to frontal, two of them collided with each other, but he's getting fierce attention, Derek, as you would predict before the game. You know, he's a brilliant player, very low to the ground, very difficult to mark. And you know, you mentioned it in the early commentary, the way he catches that ball, he's just hand in front, catches it down, and he's on the turn as he catches it. Very difficult to mark. A cheap freebie given away there now by Kilmaley. Again, chance for Rossayes to get another point for Crusheen Tubber.
He's got 3 on the board already. As you can see, he's on the 45-metre line, going through that routine. Lifting it, this one will have to head towards the left-hand post, and he catches it brilliantly, does Ross Hayes. That's his 3rd free of the second half, his 4th, as we mentioned, in total. And again, Crusheen Tubber bringing it back, but just can't get inside that 6-point gap. 2-9 to 1-6 is how it stands. Looking at the clock, 13 coming up on 14 minutes gone here in the second half. So we're moving towards the closing quarter of the 2019 Clare Under-21A Hurling Final. 1975 and 2015 were Kilmaley's last Under-21A titles. Could it be a lucky third? We'll wait and see how these last few minutes will play out. Maguire with the strike. We're watching this one as it tails just inside that left hand upright. What a cameo off the bench from this young man, James Maguire, wearing number 20. Made little of the breeze there, Fergie. We could do the perfect eye line of that ball. It never wavered.
No, it was a great score, and you thought, you know, when Bradley Higgins got injured that the Kilmaley team would have been weakened sufficiently, but it's not. Maguire has come on, he's played very well. That was a fantastic score.
Crusheen Tubber now trying to respond again. Jonah Culligan playing that ball into the corner where Aidan McNamara that is lurking around, trying to get onto that ball out there, trying to help him as well as Colm O'Brien. But Sean Kennedy is back there for Kilmaley, takes it on and heads across his own 20-metre line, confident as his pace was going to get him away, strikes it across the field where John Finucane now comes out. He's getting close attention there from Aidan McMahon. McMahon does well to get it away, but the big man Finucane isn't giving up. He's up to the 45-metre line now as he scoops it spoon style forward to Sean O'Loughlin, who got one from that angle before, swings this one loosely over the shoulder. That's a wonderful score. Sean O'Loughlin, take a bow. That's a brilliant score. Looked as if he was just going nowhere out towards that terracing stand side, but just swung the hurley, had the direction to get it over the bar. He's got 6 so far this afternoon, 2-11 to 1-6, and we're just looking at a change being made. Number 17 is going in for Kilmaley. It's another Milltown man in the form of Micheál Murray, and coming off the field is going to be the number 10, and that is Aidan McMahon. So Micheál Murray, number 17, coming in there for number 10 for the Kilmaley men, and Aidan McMahon putting in a good shift here as well too, Fergie.
Yeah, put in a good shift, and he did go under 21 campaign. He's been consistent enough, but you know, a bit of fresh legs in now from Micheál Murray. But that was another good score by Sean O'Loughlin. Smart move by Kilmaley. I think, you know, where Sean O'Loughlin hasn't been at his very best today, but the move has really set him alight, putting him in full forward now. He's going to get another ball here, another score on here, Derek.
Yeah, could it be a third from the same angle for Sean O'Loughlin? He certainly looks to have found his eye there. He's comfortable over on that far side, there's no doubt about it. It's a 4th point in the second half for him. 3 of those coming from play, 7 altogether. And as we look as well, Aaron O'Brien has come on for Crusheen Tubber, and making way is the number 10 there, James Taff. So both sides making changes here in these closing stages. 2-12 Kilmaley, 1-6 Crusheen Tubber. We have got 14 plus injury time left to play here in the park. That's Aidan McMahon outside, himself and John Finucane having a right all battle. McMahon is the man that comes out on top this time. Droney is trying to come onto this one now, and Darcy goes back to meet him, and Darcy does very well indeed. That's a textbook tackle, and he hasn't caught the ball yet. Now he has, turns in, strikes across the field, but that one goes a little bit wayward, and it's well controlled on the stick first by McMahon. But look at that, Maguire robs him, and Finucane is there to try and kick it clear. We told you he was a footballer in his youth. He's a hurler as well now with Kilmaley, there's no doubt about that. Has John Finucane, great goal from him the last day in that game against Sina Kilnamona, and a cracking point as well right at the start too of that extra time period. The ball is still there, McMahon is back there, Hayes is there too. He pushes his way forward, trying to make the space to take the strike, doesn't have it. Jonah Culligan offers himself as the option, and Tommy Barry goes back, robs him and kicks it out over the sideline. We've spoken so often about work rate, Fergie. Even at 2-12 to 1-6 up, Kilmaley look very eager to close this one out.
They do. They're working very hard, and you know, Crusheen Tubber have pushed Ross Hayes up the field. You know, desperation time from now. They need to get a very big score, maybe 2 very big scores to have any chance in bringing themselves back into this game. And in doing that and pushing Ross Hayes up the field, we've seen it has left a little bit of space in front of Sean O'Loughlin. But as I said, very smart from Kilmaley management team. You know, as I said, Sean O'Loughlin not firing on all cylinders when he was out centre forward, moved him in and has really set him alight.
It's a good cut of a ball there from Ross Hayes, trying to find Joey Droney, but it just trails out to the right hand side and it goes wide. It's their 7th wide overall, their fourth of the second half period, and the scoreline remains 2-12 to 1-6. It's Kilmaley in the ascendancy here against Crusheen Tubber. As we mentioned, looking to win just their 3rd under 21A title overall and their 2nd since 2015. Beaten finalists last year against their nearest and dearest in Aina Kilnamona, but they'll look to make up for that here this afternoon. Peter Ronan, a dual goal scorer so far in this final, trying to pick it up. Micheál Murray is over there as well, so too is Darcy. Lovely little flick up from him, and now Tom O'Rourke has it standing on the 65 metre line off to Kithogue. He likes it, the umpires like it, and why wouldn't they? That's as easy a point as you'll find from Tom O'Rourke, but as a coach, Fergie, you'll tell everybody that it's not as easy as that.
No, it's not. He'd made himself a good bit of space. I like the way he came central to the field, and he when he got the little bit of space, he double-handed it, banged it over the bar. Good, very, very good score. You'd be hoping maybe the last 10 minutes now, Derek, that Crusheen will get a score or two and try and make it that little bit difficult for Kilmaley coming down the finishing line.
Just an indication of the strength and depth of the Kilmaley panel. Number 34 has now come onto the field, and that man is Sean Ronan, and he's replacing Aidan Kennedy, who after a very tough and what looked like a brutal kind of a shift has made way, and he'll gladly sit on the sideline, I'd imagine, for these closing stages. Jonah Culligan wants to do anything but that as he comes through, tried to get the strike away, but Daniel Walsh put in the hurley and blocked him down, and Sean Kennedy is the man that comes away with the break, striking from his own 21 metre line right down the field. It comes here onto the Kilmaley 45, or the Crusheen Tubber 45, but it was the man wearing number 8, Padraig Kelly, that was there, tried to play it down along the line. Tom O'Rourke came out to cut it out, just couldn't control it, and we're looking as well at another substitution for the Crusheen Tubber men. It's the man wearing number 19, Keane O'Callaghan, that's going to be coming on, and we'll just wait and see who's going to make way. It's Joey Droney that's coming off. So 19 is on, 15 is off, and I suppose at this stage now you start to perhaps run the bench, Fergie, and at least give these young fellas their taste of county final day.
I think it's important, the probably game has gone from Crusheen Tubber now. It's important now probably just to get a few extra bodies onto the field, give them the experience of playing a 21A final, which will probably stand to them going forward.
This man has played a cracking under 21A final. Tom O'Rourke capped with that point just a couple of moments ago. Plays it forward there to James Maguire. 2 points for him since being introduced from the bench. The breeze isn't going to catch this one too favourably. It goes to the left and it goes wide. It registers an 11th wide from a Kilmaley point of view. They won't be too worried about that because on the scoreboard 2-13 to 1 goal and 6. So they lead by 13 points here with 10 minutes to play in this Clare under 21A hurling final. As we mentioned, Al Hayes Skoda Motors, our commentary sponsors here this afternoon. Cathal Darcy just going through some running repairs, and attention outside there as well for Dermot Mullins. Gives us a chance, Fergie, perhaps to just have a quick chat, I suppose, about those under 21B and C finals as well. From the C perspective, I guess, Aina Kilnamona with their second team, and then you have Bedyke, as we mentioned when that are you 21 or aren't you 21 debate was in, they weren't sure whether they could enter a team or not, but great to see a club paying, it's only 13 aside, and they've got just about 16 or 17 in the panel. It keeps a club like that going.
It does, and it's very, very important for Bedyke if they could get over the line. I know it's Aina Kilnamona's second team, and in fairness to them, they've numbers so they can compete really. But for Bedyke, it would be great to see them coming over. Numbers is a big problem for them, but it would be great to see them getting over the line.
Could be a big problem coming here for the Kilmaley defence, as a great catch from Jonah Culligan set up Colm O'Brien for a point for them, so they cut that gap back once more. 2-13 Kilmaley and 1-7 for Crusheen Tubber, and we're inside the closing 8 or so minutes here of this game. The B final, Fergie, Newmarket and Fergus versus Broadford, that's going to be full-blooded, I'd imagine. Yeah,
I think that's going to be a cracker of a game. There'll be very little between them. Broadford coming back after last year, being beaten last year, probably have something to prove, and you have to win one, probably to lose one scenario, and they'll be going gun-ho, as will Newmarket. Newmarket have been a while, with a bit of silverware, and they'll be wanting to try and get a bit of silverware going forward.
Sean Ronan takes a strike there that just goes outside the right hand upright, so no addition to the Kilmaley scoreboard from that point of view, but we're just playing out the last couple of minutes here, you feel now as well. 2-13 Kilmaley, 1-7 Crusheen Tubber. It's been a really dominant second half performance in particular from Kilmaley, and this man as well, Cathal Darcy, he has really bossed proceedings around that middle third, trying to turn inside, held up there, and I suppose in fairness to Cian Kettleart was the only option he had really. And will Sean O'Loughlin come out to take this? He certainly will. And you mentioned it there, Fergie, we can talk all we like about the players and the subs that come on, but for the management team as well, to recognise that perhaps Sean Sean just needed to see a different part, like you'd put blinkers on a horse. Just let him see a different part of the field and see can it get him back on course.
Yeah, I think it was smart. Ross Hayes was doing a very, very good job in him, and Sean in itself, he was a little bit off colour even from his free taking, which is a bit unusual. But just a nice little smart switch, bring Finucane out, which he wouldn't be out of place centre forward either. Good ball winner, able to spread the ball well, and since they put O'Loughlin in, he's got some fantastic scores, and that looks like it's gone over the bar now.
It certainly has. It never wavered from the moment it left his stick. He caught it with real aplomb, and a man playing with confidence. 3 points in the first half for him, 5 in the second, so an 8-point haul for Sean O'Loughlin in a Clare under-21A hurling final. Not a bad tally whatsoever, and as we mentioned, himself and Tommy Barry now looking destined to be climbing the steps to lift that bowl. Is James Maguire destined to add to the scoreboard? No, that's going to trail to the right and wide. 13 wides so far in this game, and Kilmaley so dominant. 2-14 on the scoreboard and 13 wides. It really tells just how on top they have been in this game. Kettle are now trying to get something back here for Crusheen Tubber. You'd imagine nothing but green flags will do. Still going through, drag down referee, happy to let play continue, and just as O'Callaghan picked that up, he pulled it back. They're probably going to have to go for this one, and just killing time now on that far side as well. I think down on his knees at the moment is Sean Crowley. He's been quite enough in this game, but we know this fella is majorly talented as well. He'll be in Gary Cup action with Kilmaley as well. I think it's tomorrow evening they're playing in that particular competition against Kildysart. And we'll just wait and see. Ross Hayes, at this stage, Fergie, do you kind of throw caution to the wind and just go for it?
You have to go for it at this stage. You just have to have a bang at it, and get Les to follow it in and see can they get something on it. And even at that, Derek, even a goal, it'll still have an awful lot of work for Crusheen Tubber to do. But you have to give credit, I suppose, to Kilmaley as well. They're not playing their very, very best. It's been a poor 21 final, Derek. Days like this can bring a bit of pressure on young fellas, I suppose, and but look, in fairness to Crusheen Tubber, they've battled away gallantly, but there's just not enough power up front to cause Kilmaley trouble. We've seen a lot of ball. I think their indiscipline has been a little bit scattered too at times, giving away soft frees, and if Kilmaley had all their wides tally added up, they're well in control of this game.
Here comes Hayes with the bullet low, and that's saved inside the goal. It was Ronan Cannon dropping to his knees and just flicking around the post. It's going to be a 65, and Ross Hayes is the man that will trot out to take this one. We heard Pat Taff, Fergie, talking during the week about it being a great day for the clubs to come together, be champions last year, as we mentioned, and to experience an A final. Okay, a result hasn't gone their way and doesn't look like it is at this stage, but they'll take a lot from it all the same.
They will, of course, and as I said during the Monday on our podcast, what it does, I suppose, it gives exposure to both clubs that wouldn't have numbers to compete in 21A, to give lads a chance to play at the highest level at this grade. And it's an excellent championship, and it has done that for both clubs, and going forward it will stand to most of the players here that have experienced a day like this.
Emmett Quinn took that 65 short and drops it into the centre now, and Cian Kettle are coming there with the strike, but he's well blocked down. Maguire is back there to pick it up, so too is the man wearing number 9 we mentioned just a minute ago. Sean Crowley gets that ball clear to Micheál Murray. The referee is going to pull it back. It'll be a free from their own 45 metre line, and we're going to see a couple of changes now coming from Kilmaley as Kevin McNamara and all the management team there, Brian O'Loughlin, Conor Sexton and Sean Hogan. They've got Shane Slattery on stats, and Cian McNamara is their physio as well, and Ciara, of course, involved with a number of Kilmaley clubs, or Kilmaley grades I should say, right across the last couple of years as well. Aaron Maloney is going to take this free on his own 45 metre line. It's Sean Kennedy, in fact, that's going to take it. Kennedy coming to strike it off from his own 45 metre line, dropping it into the danger zone. O'Loughlin goes up to try and take it, but that's a fantastic catch. Brilliant work inside from the Crusheen Tubber defence, and coming away with it now is Padraig Kelly. Just let the ball run across him, and Maguire comes back to try and get the block in, but he can't. Dropping it right down into the heart now, that 21 metre line. Oisin Looney's back there, so too is Daniel Walsh, all just waiting to see where this ball will go, and coming away with it is Tommy Barry. What a captain's part he's played in the defence, switching the play right the way across to Micheál Murray, coming back to his own 65 metre line to get that, and now deciding that he has the pace to go past Emmett Quinn and put some green grass between them as well. Plays that crossfield ball. O'Loughlin puts up the stick, but ultimately just broke it down into the hands of Gavin O'Brien, who plays a clever little ball into the centre to Cian Kettle. Shortens up the grip, tries to ping it into the corner. Inside there's Jonah Culligan, good control from him, takes it down ahead of Daniel Walsh, but look at that stick out again from Tommy Barry. What play from him, read that like a book that you'd get in Innes Library. Drops it into John Finucane, his mother works in one, plays it into the corner. Great stick control there from Ronan. Can he finish it off? It goes to the left and it goes wide. We were worked up for that one. Tommy Barry out to Finucane to Ronan, just put it to the left and wide. Kilmaley now starting to ring the changes once more. Number 23 is coming in. That man is David Maloney, and 21 is Aidan O'Brien, and just waiting to see who's going to make their way off the field. Peter Ronan is coming off for number 23. So 2 goals for him, not a bad return. 2-1 in fact for him in a Clare under-21 hurling final. And also making his way off the field is Sean Crowley. So 23 and 21 are in, and 9 and 13 are off if you're marking down the stats for this particular game. Good work outside again by that Crusheen Tubber midfield area. They're not letting this one go as Ross Hayes tried to go in and tries to pick that one up, but Cathal Darcy is battling away there too. So too is the corner forward Colm O'Brien, who's come deep looking for this one. Referee judged and just saw a bit of a stray hurley coming in and decided that it was just a little bit too over exuberant from a Crusheen Tubber perspective. It'll be a free for Kilmaley. Sean O'Loughlin will trot out to take it. He'll be in no hurry whatsoever. 2 minutes of normal time left to go. It's 2-14 Kilmaley. It's 1-7 Crusheen Tubber. I did pass maths at school, but that's double scores, and I know my old teachers will be proud of that one. 20 points to 10. 2 minutes of normal time left to go, and you have to say, in fairness, Fergie, on balance of play, the scoreboard probably reflecting how things have panned out.
Yeah, I think so. You know, there was little glimpses, all right, when we saw Crusheen Tubber having their little purple patches of play. But in general, I think Kilmaley have been in control of the game from start to finish, bar that little bit of a worry going in at half time. I suppose they've been in control of the game, well able to get scores when it became necessary to get them, and you know, far the better team, even though not playing to the potential that we saw maybe against Dinah Kilnamona, but that might be due to a little bit of credit to Crusheen Tubber, who have made a little bit difficult and working very hard to close them down.
Sean O'Loughlin not messing up our Mets on that occasion. We'll thank him for that later, but he has a chance to do just that now over on the far side again. It's going to be a free right out on the far sideline between the 65 and 45 metre line, and he'll be striking in towards the Clyster goal here in Cusack Park. We've seen he's certainly got the eye in from that right hand channel. 3 brilliant points from play in a row from him, with the man wearing those lime green boots. When you wear boots like that, you've got to have the class to back it up, and there's no doubt about it. Sean O'Loughlin has that in spades. Standing now just to go through his routine once more. He has got 8 points so far in this game, the man wearing number 11. He'll be long remembered for that goal against Dinah Kilnamona in the semi-final. And what did I say about that right-hand side? He'll want to hit everything from there now going forward. He takes their tally to 21 points. It's 2-15 Kilmaley. It's 1-7 Crusheen Tubber. 30 seconds of the normal time period left to play. Let's stay with it. Tom O'Rourke and Cathal Darcy almost apologising to one another to see who's going to take that ball. So too O'Loughlin now taking it centre of the field. Strikes it brilliantly. Knew it was gone over the minute it left his stick. He's had a brilliant second half. 7 points, and now takes his personal tally to 10. And just a little bit of concern at the moment for James Maguire down there. Looked to have taken a bit of a heavy knock. I'm sure the thoughts of collecting a 21A medal will get him back up onto his feet fairly quickly. 2-16 to 1 goal and 7. As we mentioned, Crusheen Tubber just outclassed in the second half. Fergie probably typified just 1 point from playing the second period. 3 Ross Hayes frees, their other scores as well. Just, you know, probably struggled to put the ball in the right area.
Yeah, I think so. And struggled up front really, no real power up front and no real threat. You know, Kilmaley have curved it very well with a very, very good defence. But again, just you're talking about Sean O'Loughlin again. You know, we've seen glimpses of him in the second half. He's pure class. That was a brilliant score again, and James Maguire probably getting a bit winded there, clash and that. But overall, Derek, you know, there's been no doubt about the outcome of this, and Kilmaley just showing a small little bit of class in certain areas, their pace, their speed, and again, like we spoke about, their intelligent use of the ball again today in patches have been very, very good, and there's just so much power up front, and even the subs they brought on, you know, any of those are well able to get a score at any time in the game, so it's a very good performance by Kilmaley.
Absolutely, and 2-16 is a fair old tally, there's no doubt about that. As we mentioned, 1-7 for Crusheen Tubber. Their goal came off the stick of Aidan McNamara just before the break. It left just 4 points between them going in at half time, but since then Kilmaley have really pushed on and are now on the brink of what we said was their third Clare under-21A title. They've got 3 B titles coming in 77, 90 and in 99 as well. Puck out dropping into that middle third of the field. Micheál Murray does well to pick that up, the man with the white helmet and the red strip, as it breaks across here now to Sean Ronan. He plays it into Murray again, and coming forward like a train there now too is Sean O'Loughlin. Tries to get the hand pass inside. The icing on the cake could be here. There it is. Mark it down. It's another goal for Kilmaley, worked right from the half back line, and it's John Finucane who gets his second goal in as many games. The big Kilmehel man waited until injury time to get on the scoreboard, but what a way to do it. 3-16 to 1-7. Great play there, you have to say, between Micheál Murray and Sean Ronan. Sean O'Loughlin came through like a train, offloaded the hand pass at exactly the right time, and there was John Finucane to put it into the corner. No more than his performance deserves, and always great, Fergie, to finish with a flourish.
was great, and a good goal, well worked, and I suppose, Derek, we were talking about before, the likes of that we just have seen there. Kilmaley were always in danger of doing something like that, and it's a great goal by Finucane. I really like him as a player. Again, his work rate is brilliant. When he gets the ball, he's not all the time looking for his own score. He's looking for other players in better positions, and he well deserved that goal.
Cathal Darcy went for a big one there from the middle of the park, but it dropped short, and Morag McMahon did well inside in the Crusheen Tubber goal to control that one and plays it out the far side to Emmett Quinn. Again looking to put it across here, but Maloney read that one very well indeed, and he's going to clear his lines. He's been rock solid on the verge of the square, no doubt about that. Sean Ronan has impressed as well. He's been busy since he came in these last couple of minutes. A loose kind of a strike across there, but Padraig Kelly was the man that took the tackle. Referee eventually saw the foul, and in fairness I suppose tried to swipe across to get the ball, but Ronan was just too quick going away. Sean O'Loughlin will take the free, and I think Padraig Kelly is going to be spoken to.
Yeah, he's going to be spoken to. Loose pull across the hand of Ronan, and he's a very, very impressive player since he came on. He was unlucky for a score there about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Took a lovely ball down from the sky and just maybe fell off the strike a little bit, but it's a yellow card for Padraig Kelly. It's his second one. It's a red card, and he's gone. And again, it's Sean O'Loughlin again to put another nail on Crusheen Tubber's coffin.
Yeah, he's, as you can see, right down here in front of the stand side of the field, left hand side of the pitch. He's got the majority of his second half scores from the other channel. Let's see, can he swing it as well from this one? Will creep back as that goes inside the left hand upright. Another point for Sean O'Loughlin. 3 in the first half, now 8 in the second, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those coming from frees. It's not a bad return at all from the man wearing number 11 as the referee blows the full time whistle. It's 3-17 Kilmaley. It's 1 goal and 7 Crusheen Tubber. They're Clare under 21A hurling champions for a third time, 1975, 2015 and now 2019 as well. 3-17-1-7 as the hugs and celebrations go on below us here. Well deserved, Fergie, you have to say. They've probably been they're the champions, so they're the team of the championship.
Yeah, team of the championship. We were very impressed the first day we saw him against the Bridge, Derek. All we spoke about, their use of the ball, their pace, their speed, their work ethic, their application, their energy they brought to the game, their sideline very, very good. Young management team full of energy. We saw one of the spectacular games that we're going to see below in Clarecastle against Inagh Kilnamona, nip and tuck, and lived with some of the difficult periods in that game, stuck with it and hung in there and got scores of vital times. And today they were just pure the dominant team today, even though a bit of credit Crusheen Tubber, they made it difficult at times for them, but they're just a pure class. All about them you'd like, and going forward I suppose for them winning the 21A title is brilliant in its own way, but it's about taking a group of lads out of it and making them real senior potential hurlers, and they have them in abundance. They have a massive pick to pick from, and you'd have to admire their skill and their pace and their speed. Very impressive from this year.
Absolutely, there's one man down there I can see coming onto the field with his young fella as well, former Kilmaley chairman Noel McGough. He'll no doubt have enjoyed that. So too, as you mentioned, will that man Maloney outside in Carney's and PJ Murphy too with the Kilmaley in. They'll have a good night tonight and perhaps a weekend as well, as Kilmaley are crowned under 21A hurling champions. 3-17-1-7 is the full time score here in Cusack Park. As we wrap up not just this afternoon but of course our streaming of this Clare under 21A championship as well, we want to thank all of you that have got in touch, and you've been feeding back in your draws as well. You seem to enjoy it, and do stay tuned. We've got no more news to come as the summer season approaches, but more of that later. Big thanks to the man on my left hand side, Fergie Loughlin, who's been providing analysis right throughout this championship, and to Raf and John as well, who've been pushing all the right buttons and making us sound an awful lot better than we usually are as well. Big thanks to those lads as well, and to Peter and Leo and all the gang at the Clare Champion as well for getting all this going. We end with those celebrations for Kilmaley. They're getting their team photo ready. 3-17-1-7 is the full time score. We'll talk to you shortly.